Hello, my dear viewers, and my name is Sudesh. I am from Calicut. I came here to meet this person, Shaukut Pai. He is my brother, and we have been practicing in different platform for long time. And I think he completed 2 years. I completed 3 years, and we have been practicing this language each other for 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. And yeah, Shaukut Pai. And what can I do for you? Because this is
Yeah,
your channel.
yeah, yes, yeah, okay. Yeah, I created my YouTube channel 3 months ago, and I post videos. Most of the day I post videos. So you are very senior member in our groups, the English groups. That's why if you introduce some practice methods in front of my viewers, they also get inspiration. How can they keep their practice? That's why I ask you, so many people they want to learn English now. So what kind of practice methods they can follow if they want to become fluent English speaker?
Okay, and in my opinion, yeah, just before I mentioned about my practice, and I have been practiced this language 3 years ago. I hadn't spoken this language before I joined Joss Monser's group. I got all this idea from Joss Monser group. First, we want confidence, then we want fluency, and that so that we never ever think about inhibition, and we must eradicate some kind of things, inhibition, shyness, and yeah, like that things, like shyness, inhibition, and such kind of things. And first we uh, first we must open our mind, then we open our mouth to speak in this language. We must speak in this language, whatever it is, whether it is right or wrong. We must speak in this language. That is the first method.
Okay, how did you start your practice, English practice?
When I was a beginner, I mentioned something. I hadn't spoken this language before joining Joss Monster group, and after joining that group, I got a little bit of courage and fluency and confidence to speak in this language. After that, I was developing my that skill, and after 2 months, I tried to learn be part of grammar. Without grammar, we can't speak this language. That is my opinion, and this is not a rule of this language, because this is my opinion. So that I tried to understand what is grammar, especially 24 oxyverbs. And if we part of 24 oxyverbs, we can speak English very well. That is my point of view. This is my opinion.
Yeah, and what kind of practice methods you follow this long time? Do you follow this long time?
Yeah, and I concentrated in 24 auxiliary verbs related method, because if we are going to make one sentence using one auxiliary verb, we must make four forms of that sentence. That means I am going to give you a small example. I went to the market. Sorry, I go to the market. It's a simple present tense. I go to the market, and we must think about what is the other possibilities of that sentence. That means we must understand the four forms of that sentence. I go to the market. I don't go to the market. Do you go to the market? Don't you go to the market? And how do you go to the market? When do you go to the market? What time do you go to the market? We must learn all these sentences like this. Only then we can speak this language very well and confidently.
Okay, and some people, even native people, also tell if you follow four practical methods, you can speak very fluent English: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. What's your opinion about this matter?
That is scientific method. If we want to learn any language, we must follow this method: listening, speaking, reading, writing. Not only that, we can follow our own methods, and I would follow my own methods and talk to myself. And another is I have been collecting more than 3,000 sentences for 2 years, and that means Malayalam sentences, not English. After that, I tried to understand what is the pure English sentence, and for that I used so many. For that I used so many applications and this other possibilities to understand that thing. And because whatever I think, whatever I do, whatever I think, at that time we must think about what is the pure English sentences of this action, and this Malayalam sentence like that.
Okay. And we have 4 practical methods. And if you select from this kind of 4 practice methods, if you select 2 practice methods, what practice methods will you select?
Talk to myself, and most of the time I try to talk to myself. And another is now, because this action, now we are standing in the sunlight. Now we are standing in the sunlight, and now we are talking each other. Now we have been discussing something about this language like that. Whatever we do, we must think in this language. And if we are going to do something, if we are going to do some work, at that time, yeah, I am going to do this work, and then now I am talking to someone, and then now I am doing my work. Now I am having this food, and whatever we do, must think in English.
Okay. And native teachers, they are telling how the people learn their mother tongue. That manner we can learn other second language also. For example, the children, they start to listen from their parents, neighbors, and surrounding area people. After the children start to speak, beginning time children make more mistake. After children, they speak their mother tongue very fluently after 2 or 3 years. What's your opinion about this matter?
That's very good, because that is we must understand because in their brain there is nothing, that is empty, because they have been they can absorb very easily, they can grab very easily. But in our case, we have lot of responsibilities, we have lot of things in our brain, so that we must take a little bit effort to speak this language. That means we must learn something about this language every day, and we must make a little bit improvements every day.
Yeah.
That is most important.
And not only that, because now recently we can understand so many other states people, they come to Kerala. North Indian people, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka people also, they come to Kerala and they start to do job in Kerala. And most of the people are telling Malayalam learn very difficult. So, but if the Hindi speaking people, if they come to Kerala after 3 or 4 years, they speak Malayalam very fluently. So that's why, my opinion, adult people, if they follow this kind of practical methods, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, they can also speak fluent English. My opinion that. What's your opinion?
If we, because as you said, excellent, that opinion is very okay. The main reason is if we have been getting that such kind of atmosphere, we can learn any language very easily. Because if you are going to be part of a Hindi speaking people, and there is no need of any grammar, such kind of any effort to learn this language, you will get all these things from that surroundings, that atmosphere.
Yes. Yeah. And if we follow this kind of practical methods, we can also speak fluent English. And what's your opinion? If a person start to practice English, does he need to learn grammar the beginning time?
There is no need, because we will get everything from our atmosphere. After that, we can speak any language very easily if you are living in that, with that community. But there is one, but we have been living in Kerala. We don't have that much English atmosphere here, so that we must understand what is a basic grammar, and we must be expert in basic grammar. There is no need of too much concrete words, bombastic usages, and so many advanced structures. Really, we must be part of simple English at first. After that, we can enter other part of this language.
Yeah, in my opinion, if a person doesn't have any background, this kind of people, they can start to listen first English, listen and watch. This kind of practice they can follow 1 or 2 months. After, they can join in this kind of WhatsApp group and they can start to speak in practice. If the people have background, if they know little bit grammar and they know some vocabularies, this kind of people, they can directly start to speak in practice. What's your opinion about this matter?
Just before I mentioned about this thing, it depends upon that person.
Yes.
Because what was your opinion? Because you just before you mentioned about your qualification, you passed the 10th exam, and even though you didn't have too much qualification. Even though you speak this language very well, and yeah, I would like to know about your experience, and because you don't have that much experience, sorry, don't have that much education, even though you learn and speak this language very well.
Yeah, okay. And I've been practicing this language for 2 years. And 2 years ago, I watched some videos about Josmon Sar videos. Josmon Sar with OK Latif and Jesse, this kind of people with videos. That time, I understood if I follow this method, I can also learn this language. And I searched Josmon Sar number that time, and I got Josmon Sar number from his video that time. And I took his number and I called him and I told Josman sir, please add my number. And he added my number 2 years ago. And I have been following 3 types of practice methods: listening, speaking, and reading. So, and I think 1 year ago, I studied a little bit, I learned a little bit. People method and they like to learn the grammar. No, they can continue to follow these practice methods. What's your opinion?
In my opinion, yeah, I mentioned one thing, it depends upon person. In my opinion, we must learn a little bit more very basic grammar first at the beginning time. That is most important. First, we may use wrong sentence, register or break so that we can replace it. It is difficult. That is the main problem. So, and especially do does. It is very difficult to implement in our profession. While in this language, it is very difficult. And instead of do does, everyone uses is, are, or that's the main problem. And has it. We must add a little bit effort to implement, to make such kind of sentences. And who does have, has, and has been, have been, had been. Must take a little effort to be part of these types of usage. In my opinion, we start a little bit grammar. That means basic grammar is most important.
Okay. And the expert teachers, they are telling if you have a strong intention, time we can learn this language very easily.
You are the great example. You are the example.
Yeah. The experts are saying we should have a strong intention. What's your opinion?
It's most important because after my graduation, I knew how to learn this language. I tried. I think I had taken so many attempts to learn this. Language before joining Josmon sir. I think more than 10 or 15 attempts I did, but I because I didn't know how to speak this language, how to speak this language, and what is the word of this language, how to speak this.
And so many advertisements going on in our society. Many institutes, they do advertisement. If you join our institute, we can learn English within 15 days, 1 month or 3 months. This kind of advertisement going on. That's why in our society, people have misperception. People think if they join any institute or any other atmosphere, they can speak in English with kind of perception people have. What opinion on that matter?
They will get. We won't get anything. It's a training process. It's a training process. Our mind, must be trained by us. We must keep consistency. Is most important. We must add little bit effort. We must take a good effort to learn this. That is important. There is no any shortcuts. There is no any solution to speak in this language. We must open our mind at first. After that, open our mouth. Then we must speak in this language, whatever it is, whether it is or wrong, we must speak in language. There is no other question.
Okay. And in my I also started practice. That time I thought within 6 months and I could become a fluent speaker. I thought that time. But after 6 months completed, I understood it time. But I increased my practice. Most of people when they understand this, that time they fed up. That's why they decrease practice. But I increased my practice. That's why I got this ability. I'm not a perfect person. I have to improve more. And what's your level?
When I was a beginner, I thought it was very easy to learn. After that, I understood it's not easy. It's not a piece of a cup of tea. So I was deciding I want to complete 60 months, 5 years without a break. Just before I mentioned about my time, I completed years once. In between, I haven't taken any break so far.
Yeah.
Okay, and we can conclude this
Okay.
session.
Yes, sir.
Can we conclude this?
Yes. We can conclude this. My opinion, the people ready to practice this language, people can speak in fluent in itself. Different people have the ability. That's why we can't tell the time duration. Some people can the language is 6 months or 1 year. Some people
It depends.
Yes,
That. And another is I forgot that thing. It's not a easy task. It's we want a little bit effort. It's most important. Not only if we are going to think, we must think about it. We must make an bit effort.
Yes.
And I forgot one point. Sorry.
Okay.
And that point that is it's not a one-day process. It's a long-time process.
Yeah.
Time process.
Yeah.
And because it's a training process.
Yeah. But be ready to do that and learn. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, we can conclude this time also over. Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
So
sir.
many good information your side. I'm
Okay.
also
We are going to start our journey
Yes.
again
Yes,
because we
yeah.
want to be
Yeah.
a good stewards. That we are not ready to stop our this journey.
Yes.
And I want to complete 6 months without any break. That's my intention. That's my point. Yeah. Completed 3 years and 2, and it's a long time process. Okay, bye, my dear
Bye.
friends.
Thank you so much.